Okay, so what if I told you that you could become a way more confident and effective communicator, not by cramming your brain with thousands of new words, but just by mastering ten simple sentences? That's what we're digging into today. We're breaking down the secret to what's called daily fluency. That ability to handle any conversation with total clarity and ease.
For so long, we've been taught that fluency, whether you're learning a new language or just trying to get ahead at work, is all about having this giant vocabulary, right? But what if that's just wrong? What if the actual key to communicating powerfully is way, way simpler? See, it's not about how many words you have in your arsenal. It's about having the right ones. Think of the 10 sentences we're going to talk about as your own personal toolkit. Each one is designed to handle pretty much any daily interaction you can think of. The real secret? Just knowing which tool to pull out and when.
All right, let's dive into our first category. These are sentences for managing expectations. Seriously, think of these like your professional armor. They're not about dodging work or anything like that. No, they're about taking control of the flow, building some real trust, and just being super clear about your process.
So these 4 phrases right here, they're basically your shield. They are super simple, totally professional ways to just buy yourself the time you need to do a good job. But here's the most important part. They send a signal. That signal says, yep, I heard you, I got the request, it's being handled. And honestly, in a world where you just get digital silence half the time, that little bit of reassurance, it's incredibly powerful.
Okay, let's zoom in on this one for a second. I will get back to you. It sounds so simple, right? But it's actually a professional promise. It's not you brushing someone off. It's a real commitment. It's you saying, hey, I respect your question and I'm going to give it the real thought it deserves. I mean, this one phrase, used consistently, can literally build your reputation as someone who's thoughtful and totally reliable. So, at the end of the day, using these phrases all the time does one really critical thing. It creates clarity, period. You stop all that anxiety and misunderstanding that pops up when there's just silence. You're setting clear boundaries, clear timelines, and that, right there, is the foundation for any great collaboration. Okay, so now let's build on that foundation. Part 2 is all about seeking clarity. And look, a lot of people get this wrong. They think asking questions makes them look weak or like they don't know what they're doing. But it's the total opposite. It's actually a sign of engagement, of confidence, and of being committed to getting things right the first time. So what's in this part of the toolkit? Well, these are the phrases that literally stop mistakes in their tracks before they even happen. They are, hands down, the most efficient way to make sure everyone is on the same page. Think of all the wasted time and effort you're preventing down the road. It's huge. Now, here's where it gets a little nuanced, but this is super important. When you say, I am not sure about this, what you're really signaling is, I need a second to think this through myself. It's an internal thing. But when you say, I have a question, you're actively looking for help from someone else. You need external input. Getting this difference down, it makes your communication incredibly precise. It actually takes a lot of courage to say, can you explain this again? Especially when you're in some fast-paced meeting and everyone's nodding along. But here's the thing, this request helps everyone. I guarantee you, if you're confused, someone else is too. By being the one to ask, you become the hero who makes sure the entire team is actually aligned and ready to move forward together. So what does this all tell us? It shows that truly strong communicators, they're not afraid to ask for help. They get that asking for clarification isn't some detour that wastes time. It's actually a shortcut to getting things done right. And that brings us to our final category, which might be the most energizing one of all. Sentences for building momentum. Okay, so you've got clarity, expectations are managed, now it's time to actually move forward. These phrases are basically the green lights that turn all that talk into real action. Think about these. I agree with you. That sounds good. Let's begin. These are not passive throwaway comments, not at all. They are active endorsements. They pump positive energy into the conversation, they show everyone's on the same page, and they give the whole team that psychological green light to just go. And then you have this gem. Let's begin. Honestly, this might be one of the most powerful phrases anyone can use, not just leaders. After all the meetings, all the planning, all the back and forth, these 2 little words flip the switch. They pivot the entire group from thinking about something to actually doing it. It's a declaration. It's the starting gun. Okay, so we've looked at the individual tools, right? The ones for managing your time,
the ones for getting clarity, and the ones for kicking things into gear. Now let's pull back and look at the big picture. See how all these parts fit together to create one seamless communication system.
When you boil it all down, this is what it comes to. Just 10. 10 simple sentences. This is the core of daily fluency. It's not about being a walking dictionary. It's about mastering these essentials. And here they all are, laid out together in one powerful strategy. You've got your tools for managing expectations. Think of these as your defense. Then you've got your tools for seeking clarity. Those are for your investigation. And finally, the tools for building momentum. That's your offense. It's a complete playbook for communication.
And this is what we're aiming for. This is daily fluency. Look, it's not about sounding like a poet or being the most eloquent person in the room. It's about being the most effective, the clearest, the most confident. It's simply about using simple, smart language to get stuff done. So where do we even start? It's actually really simple. Please don't try to memorize all 10 at once. That's not the point. Just pick one category we talked about, let's say seeking clarity, and make it your mission today to use every single sentence from that group just once. That's it. Then just watch what happens.
Because at the end of the day, knowledge is only powerful if you actually use it, right? So as we wrap up, take one last look at this list, and I want you to ask yourself a real question. Which conversation, which meeting, or even which email are you going to change today with just one of these sentences?